V101, the beat of Sacramento. This is a big time honor for me. This is incredible. I can't believe he's sitting in front of me right now. Keenen Ivory Wayans is in the building. Good morning.
What's up? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. I'm awesome now, man. I get so much stuff to talk about. Obviously, you're doing your thing at the Punchline this weekend.
Right.
And we want to talk about that for sure. But,
okay.
Man, I don't even know where to begin because obviously it's my first time seeing you, so it's a whole lot of stuff. Big fan of your work.
Thank you.
Even before In Living Color. We're talking like Hollywood Shuffle, all of that. I mean, so to talk about that, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell the moment when you do it like, this is going to blow up. But what was it like when you were making Hollywood Shuffle, for example, to get things off the ground and realize this might be?
We had no idea. I mean, we were just guys trying to make a movie. Like, we didn't know. I always say ignorance is a beautiful thing. Like, you too dumb to know you can't do something, you end up doing it. And that's what was up with that. We just said, hey, why don't we make a movie? We didn't know how. We didn't know how to write a movie. We didn't know how to direct a movie. We didn't know nothing. We just did it by instinct. Did it by stuff we saw, other people doing, and whatever skills we had, we used, and a lot of sort of that ghetto ingenuity. Our sets was the inside of Robert's apartment and the outside of my house and the back of a restaurant. We didn't even have money to buy locations. We
just went out there and did it.
And we just did it. And it was fun. So we didn't have any expectation on it. The fun of just making a movie was all it was about.
Oh man, that's really big. So the lines, the script. I mean, how did you? Everything was just ad lib.
Well, there was definitely a lot of improvisation. I mean, the way we wrote the movie, because like I said, we didn't know how to write a movie, so we just laid out pieces of clothing to represent each character, and we put a video camera on, and then we would put on a hat and do one character, and then put on a sweater and do another character.
Wow!
And we just improvised the whole thing. And then when we got on the set, we had really funny people in the movie as well, so they got to improvise, and so a lot of that stuff got added in.
How cool was it to work with John Witherspoon? Because he already had the track record at that point.
Yeah, Spoon, Spoon was always wild and crazy, and a little bit older than us, so. He played my boss at Winky Dinky Dog.
Yes.
And he had that mindset of like that restaurant owner or store owner, who thinks his business is it.
Yeah.
So he was very, very funny.
Oh man, we hanging out with Keenen Ivory Wayans. This is such a big honor here, Big Al V101. So from there, was that kind of like the dry run to get you prepared for In Living Color to get that off the ground?
Actually, Hollywood Shuffle helped me to get "I'ma Get You Sucker" made.
Oh, okay,
right.
Yeah.
And it was after "I'ma Get You Sucker" that In Living Color came. So people came to see, some studio executives came to see "I'ma Get You Sucker," and then had me come in for a meeting, and then basically told me they wanted me to do a show for Fox, and that they would give me all the freedom I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and that was sort of the beginning of that.
All right, and so I got to ask, because once you started doing that, I still remember vivid as day when the show first came on, and all the other comedy shows that were out at the time. There was nothing, there wasn't even anything hardly ethnic at all.
Right.
As far as comedy, there's Saturday Night Live, and that was it.
Right.
And then was that the main focus? Like, look, we putting black folks on TV, or was it just, hey, I got this idea, and you just got a bunch of your homies, hey, who's down?
Yeah, it was more of that. There was no, again, like, when you're young, you don't have a lot of intention, right? Like, when you're young, you don't go, I gotta change the world. That's not, you just seize the opportunity. Like you said, you got friends who are all trying to do the same thing as you, so when you get that opportunity, you gather them up. And, once I actually started to conceive the show, my intention grew because there were things that I wanted,
Right.
So I wanted a show that we can make fun of everybody. So I wanted it to be multicultural. I wanted it to have that hip hop flavor because, it was just starting, and I was aware of it, and I knew that America wasn't that aware of it,
Yeah.
and this would be a great showcase for it and be something different. And so, like I said, as I started to create it, there was more intention, but the main intention really was just for us to go do our thing.
You see, and I can still remember all the stuff. I bought like the DVD set,
Yeah.
you know, so I could show. Like I got younger brothers now, and they're like they had no concept of it at the time, but now they're just cracking up. They're like, "Where are these people now?" and I'm like, "Man, they still out there doing it."
Yeah.
And how cool is it to have like new generations of people pick up the Living Color and just roll with it?
Well, that's what, you know, whenever you make a project, the hope is that it has a life, you know, that it will continue on and that new generations will find it. So, you know, I think it's great. You know, I always find it funny when, you know, I'll be walking down the street and a young kid will come up behind me and go, "Message," you know. You never know where they know you from or what they've seen or anything like that. So it's cool.
I was going to ask you that because they still come at you with the, you know, man, that when she pulled the wig off her head, or hoe cake, or you know, do you? How does it make you feel when that kind of rolls out there?
Well, it's just like it's a good joke. You know what I mean? It's like it's something that permeated pop culture, and you know, like I said, it has a life to it. So, you know, you definitely have pride in knowing that, you know, you dropped a little something that's going to be around for a while.
Yeah. See, and hanging out with Keenen Ivory Wayans, this is awesome, man. V101 hip hop. Besides Arsenio Hall, you and the show were basically the only ones to really embrace hip hop as far as making it a mainstream culture.
Right.
How was that? Again, was that purposeful? Was it accidental?
No, that part of it was purposeful because there was no showcase for it, and it was music that I loved, and it was actually banned from TV at that time.
Yeah.
Like, people refused to play it.
Right.
And so I had sort of this, you know, renegade mentality, and, you know, especially at that time, hip hop, the voice of hip hop was so strong. You had like KRS-One and Public Enemy and like people who were really like saying something. You know? So it was like a source of pride to have them at the end of the show, you know, and it just sort of put that button on the show to say, this is something different, this is in your face, you know, wake up and check out what we're doing.
That's real big, man. That's how we get to see a lot of the big hip hop artists today between Arsenio and your show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, that's Heavy D. Oh man, you know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So getting into the funny, because
Okay.
I really want to find the historical part of it, but getting into the funny, man. The skits, the all the stuff that you guys had created, was it like your creation? Was like you got Tommy Davidson and Jim Carrey in the studio. Okay, let's make this up.
Yeah, that was comedy soup right there. Everybody brought something. You know, I would sit them down and I would tell them, you know, at the end of every season when we would break for summer, I would tell them, I want you to go out and I want you to observe life. Like everybody you meet, you know, all the experience that you have, bring them back. You know, and then we would meet after the end of the summer, and everybody would tell stories about people that they came across or, you know, things that they had done over the summer, and we would mine through it and find those characters and then start to work a new batch of characters, and that's sort of how I created. The initial characters came from me and my family and our world.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we just encouraged everybody to add to it, and that's when, you know, characters like Fire Marshal Bill and that kind of stuff started to come into play. And then finding people like Jamie Foxx, who brought Wanda.
Yeah.
He was doing that in his stand-up. He had, you know, it wasn't as developed as it became on the show. But
right.
He was already on stage talking about the ugly girl and all that. So, you know, he brought that to the show. So, like I said, it was comedy soup. Everybody came and threw a little something in the pot.
So, who came up with Homie the Clown?
That's Damon. Homie the Clown is actually based on Paul Mooney.
Wow. Okay.
So Paul Mooney, for those who don't know, is his whole thing is being an angry comedian.
Yeah.
And it was just that contradiction that made everybody laugh. Right? That this guy's supposed to be funny, but he's so angry, right?
right.
And Paul's sort of his line is he uses the word homie a lot.
Yeah.
So everything he sets up, oh homie, you know, he sets it up with homie.
Yes.
And so, you know, Damon sort of sat back and said, okay, what other profession can you have that contradiction? So it was a clown who don't want to be a clown, you know. And so that's where Homie the Clown was born from. And again, that was Damon's character.
So explain the Keenen Ivory Wayans experience on stage for those who can't wait to get to the show.
Well, it's going to be pyrotechnics. I come floating down. No, I'm joking. It's me and a microphone. Straight stand up. What it is that myself, Damon, Marlon, and Sean, we're all going to go out on tour next year.
Okay.
So each of us are in the clubs right now doing our thing, making sure, you know, everything is tight. So I'm here in Sacramento to do mine, and Damon's down in Atlanta, and Marlon and Sean just finished up in Vegas. So, like I said, we're working hard, like making sure it's tight. So y'all come on out. It's going to be fun.
And you know, that's the thing I like about this whole, because you always kept it family. It wasn't like a nepotism type of thing, but it was like, my whole family got talent. We're going to showcase it.
Right. Well, my whole family don't have talent. There's 10 of us. You haven't seen the other half.
Uh-oh.
No,
there's a reason why.
No, we're the 5 of us who are in the business have always wanted to be, and that's what we do.
Okay.
And you know, really, it's like it's more than just family. Like, these are my friends. Like, this is who I hang out with, and this is who I have fun with. So, you know, it's not like only hire them because they're my brother. I hire them because they're talented and we have fun. And that's really what this whole life experience should be about. You know, people you love, people you have fun with. That's who you hang with.
That's good stuff right there. You know what? It's Richard on Facebook hit me up and he was like, I gotta know this once and for all. When S1W was spinning, was he really spinning the records? You gotta tell me, Keenen. You gotta let me know.
Here's what's funny. Everybody who's a hip hop head, every single body that's a hip hop head, that's the burning question. They want to know. Because I had a guy, he was actually a DJ. He was like, man, I used to watch that show, and I'm telling you, man, the needle wasn't even on the record. All right, so I'm going to settle it. Sean had no idea what he was doing. That was pure nepotism. That was my baby brother. I wanted to introduce him, you know, to the audience. We needed something, you know, kind of young and cute and different, you know. So he got the part, but Sean had no idea how to DJ. He was the worst because the guy was right. There were times when the needle wasn't even on there and he was doing his thing.
I look back on the DVD, I'm like, it really wasn't on the record. He didn't even put the thing on the like
the guy was like, he don't even work the knobs right.
The secret is out. It's official.
It's out.
Keenen said so. Listen, moving forward, I mean, obviously, you talking about the whole family going on tour.
Right.
Any other projects that's coming up? I mean, people want to see your stuff.
Yeah, this year it's going to be, you're going to get the Wayans flood because we've been in the lab. And Mom's doing a sequel to his movie. We're working on a sequel to White Chicks. Got a couple of...
that's going to be funny.
Yeah, that's going to be great. We got a couple of TV projects about to come to air. We got an animation show. We're going to take the movie Don't Be a Menace.
Oh, okay.
Do that as an animated show. So, like I said, the flood is coming.
There's no overexposure with the Wayans family. It's all funny stuff. It's all funny all the time, man.
Yeah. We take little breaks, you know, to make the audience kind of hungry a little bit.
Yeah. And then you just hit it right over the head with another one.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the show biz right there. See, that's what's going on. Any advice you can give, because you've done so much work between movies and TV and any advice you can give, because we have a lot of young talent here in the Valley that are making their mark. Right. And what advice can you give them as far as keeping them motivated, keeping them going?
I charge money for that, man.
Nah, man.
No.
The game is to be sold, not to be told.
That's right. No. I mean, you know, the main thing is, one, don't go for the pursuit of money. See, if you're chasing money, it's going to elude you. You know, you have to have something to give. Now, if you got something to give, then the outcome is going to be receipt. You know, if you do something you love, you will do it well, and anything you do well, you can make money at. And that sort of should be the approach, right? You can't go, oh, I want to be rich, because how you gonna do that?
Right.
So start with what you really love, and if whatever you're doing, you'll never feel frustrated. You'll never, have regret. You'll just wake up every day excited about what you do.
Real good stuff, man. That's some knowledge right there. Keenen Ivory Wayans, thank you so much for taking time. This is a big honor, man.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm because now the thing is, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the people that come in here. That's my generation. That's what and so to get to see them live, that's like, I could die happy now. So if you see me, if you see me gush and don't trip, it's just because I'm like, wow.
It's all good. It's all love, baby. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's all good. Once again, thank you, brother.
Thank you.